The story begins at the prestigious academy, where an explosive blast sends our protagonist, Herod, sprawling to the ground. As he struggles to regain his footing, a man with green hair stands over him, smirking. "Did you really get hit by elementary magic?" he taunts. "You're amazing." Herod winces in pain but manages to stand, defiantly demanding, "Isn't that enough? Return it to me as promised. I brought what you asked for." With a mocking grin, the green-haired man lifts a bag. Behold, the famous limited edition fresh sirloin burger, only 50 sold per day. He announces to the gathering crowd, "I got enough for everyone." "But where's the drink?" the green-haired man sneers. "You should have been more considerate." Flames flicker to life in his hand, and he hurls a fireball at Herod. "As punishment for your oversight, have another serving." The fireball slams into Herod, knocking him down again. As he painfully rises, the men continue to jeer. "Just as we thought, exceptionally weak." Suddenly, a furious voice cuts through the mockery. "What are you doing?" A lady strides forward, Shinonome, a member of the discipline committee. The men fall silent, recognizing her authority. The green-haired man, undeterred, throws Herod's cell phone at his face. "Be grateful," he snarls. The phone shatters on impact, pieces scattering on the ground. Shinonome rushes to Herod's side. "Are you okay?" she asks, concern etched on her face. Herod pushes her away. "Stop. You'll be excluded too if you hang out with me." She shakes her head sadly. "That doesn't matter to me." "It should," he snaps. "We can't survive here if we hang out like we did when we were kids." With that, he walks away, leaving her calling his name in despair. As Herod enters the building, whispers follow him. "That's the special admission student. How did someone with zero magic capacity get into this prestigious school?" Rumors swirl about an error in the scoring system, or perhaps a stand-in who took the exam for him. Herod doesn't want to believe it, but he can't deny the doubts creeping in. His mind drifts back to the day his parents informed him of his unexpected admission. He had wanted to ask them why, but it was too late. He looks up at the sky, his heart heavy with sorrow. "Maybe I should have died with him that day," he thinks. Herod, the special admission student with zero magic capacity, faces an uncertain future in a school where he seems to have no place. Herod had no choice but to become a swordsman, as he couldn't enroll in the mage course. In a society dominated by magic, this made him an outcast. With no magic abilities and being the only survivor of his family, he was considered a burden during dungeon raids, earning him the derisive nickname, God of Plagues. After class, Herod returned to his lonely apartment. He noticed a letter taped to his door, without a stamp or sender's name. Intrigued, he opened it. A powerful light burst from the letter, enveloping him completely. Shocked, he felt himself being pulled inside. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in a surreal, colorful world. As he stood on water, a shadowy figure emerged. "Don't be skeptical," the shadow said with a knowing smile. "I am you from the future." Herod was speechless. The shadow continued, "Enter the F-rank dungeon, Shinjuku Imperial Garden, alone. Do it, and I will explain everything." Driven by curiosity and desperation, Herod followed the shadow's instructions. He entered the dungeon, knowing it was usually empty. His future self's voice echoed in his mind, guiding him to a hidden route. He found a slit in the wall and inserted the letter. The wall shifted, revealing a secret passage. Inside, a massive crystal tied by a chain lit up the room. "Touch it," his future self commanded. Herod hesitated, but eventually reached out. As soon as he touched it, the skill cube cracked, turning an ominous red. Purple light enveloped it, and a hole opened above, drawing in the blocks around him. Before he could react, a massive golem formed from the blocks and attacked, throwing Herod painfully to the ground. Severely injured, he felt his consciousness fading. Images of his family flashed before his eyes. He was ready to accept death. But then, the letter glowed, and his future self's voice cut through the haze. "Are you really okay with dying a pointless death after being scammed by me?" the voice challenged. Herod, recalling his miserable life, refused to give up. He decided to fight back. As the golem's attack bore down on him, he stood defiantly. Suddenly, a system message appeared. Requirement met for Mage of Space and Time's indomitable spirit. His death was cancelled, and his body rolled back in time. Herod opened his eyes, feeling a surge of power. The skill cube shattered, releasing a force that hit him directly. The system showed he had acquired space-time magic. Electrified power coursed through him. His future self explained that shortcuts to awakening required harsh conditions. Herod's body felt lighter than ever. He dodged the golem's attacks with newfound agility. He activated his space-time magic, leaping onto the golem's hand, running up its arm, and plunging his sword into its head, cracking the core until the golem exploded. After the battle, Herod's level skyrocketed. His future self then revealed a shocking truth. Today, his childhood friend Shinonome would be killed by a monster in the Ikebukuro D-rank dungeon. Determined to save her, Herod raced to the dungeon. Exhausted, he arrived just in time to see Shinonome and her friends being attacked by a powerful C-rank boss, the Dark Sentinel. Shinonome was injured, and her friends were in peril. As she closed her eyes in despair, Herod intervened, using his Stop Chain skill to halt the Dark Sentinel's deadly strike. Herod faced the Dark Sentinel, his movements now a blur of speed and precision. Despite the Dark Sentinel's relentless attacks, he managed to dodge and counter, aiming for its vulnerable head. Using his Material Rewind skill, he repaired his broken sword mid-battle and struck the Dark Sentinel's eye, delivering a fatal blow. Shinonome, stunned and grateful, rushed to thank him. Herod, still processing the ordeal, asked her to keep his abilities a secret for now. She agreed, and he walked away, knowing that this was just the beginning of a much larger journey.